builds and guide for VARKA in just 2 minutes. He's an Anemo DPS who uses a great sword, and his true potential lies in his skills, as we will use his basic attacks with Anemo and through his elemental skill, and will count as elemental skill damage. His elemental skill allows him to jump by holding it down, but the important thing is to press it, as this will put him in the German words that can be pronounced state, imbuing one of his great swords with Anemo and the other with a different element depending on the team members. These elements can be Pyro, Hydro, Electro or Cryo, in that order of priority. Once the skill is used, we can start spamming basic attacks until the elemental skill activates again, allowing us to perform an attack that deals massive damage. His burst deals Anemo damage in front of VARKA and also damage of the element imbued in the other great sword. His first passive grants VARKA up to a 20% bonus Anemo damage depending on the number of characters on the team whose elemental influence is on him. This bonus damage is even greater if there are 2 Anemo characters and 2 characters of the other element, up to 220% extra damage. His second passive grants a 30% damage bonus to normal and charge attacks, while his elemental skill is active, and he spams basic attacks. The best 5-star weapon for VARKA will be the Guest of the Mighty Wolf, 1000 Blazing Suns, or the Wolf Gravestone, but if you don't have those, you can use the Serpent Spin, the Tidal Shadow, or the Black Clive Slasher. We'll primarily look for weapons that increase attack, critical or enhance elemental skills, as VARKA relies heavily on his own. For artifacts, the best set will be Die of the Racing Winds, which grants attack and an additional attack bonus when using basically any attack or skill. If you've also completed the Witch Homework quest, you'll gain a 20% critical bonus. Look for attack on the sands, attack on the goblet, and critical on the circlet. For stats, look for critical attack, energy recharge, and elemental mastery. VARKA teams will always net an Anemo, otherwise you won't be able to take advantage of his passives. Good options are Venti, Jin or Sucrose, who can group enemies together, making VARKA's small area of effects attacks way more effective. Bennett is a must-have support on these teams, and ideally you should use a Hexarei member like Durin as a sub-DPS. If you don't have him, you can use another sub-DPS that can apply their element outside the field, such as Xianlin. If you prefer a Hydro team, you can use Mona or Shinkyu as sub-DPS, who also apply their elements outside of the field. Shigawin as a support or Furina in both roles, which will also give you more flexibility with artifacts. For Electro, you can use Fischl or Roron to apply their element outside the field, or Yansan or Cookie as supports. His best constellation is his C6, which allows us to use his elemental skill way more often.